Welcome back to the channel. Today, cylinder heads on the cheap. I'm going to show you the lowest buck way to recondition your cylinder heads and still get away with them being a decent set of cylinder heads. So let's get started. Here we have your regular old set of FE cylinder heads. These are originally 427 Ford cylinder heads, so they have a little bit bigger valve. They're about 208 across the face of the intake. A little bit more flow. Look down there, it's pretty good. They took a little extra care when machining to open up the port or bowl area. I'm going to do a little better. I'll clean that up a little bit, but generally for a factory port, that's pretty good. I've already disassembled these heads, cleaned them, gone over them. They were off a running engine, so that helps a lot. But the gentleman I bought these heads from said the engine was down on power, and it made sense when I found that I had one of it wasn't this one, it was on the other head. Intake valve was not seating properly and leaking. So, taking it apart, I could see that there definitely wasn't a nice face on the valve that would meet up with the seat in the chamber to give it a good seal. This is where this video kicks in. I'm going to show you how to fix that and get these heads back up and running in good shape for dirt cheap. I'm definitely not a machinist, but working in General Service Garage another lifetime ago, I had a lady come in with a Nissan. She broke a timing belt and bent the valves in the cylinder head. 4-cylinder Nissans are notorious for that, especially the 80s, 90s versions. She didn't have any money. So what I ended up doing was just basically cleaning the head up and doing what they call lapping valves. Bought new valves for her engine to replace the ones that were bent and just lapped them in to the cylinder head. Some of you guys may be familiar with that. The ones who aren't, I'm going to show you how that's done now. What I like to use is just a simple valve grinding compound. It's made up of moly and grit to help you lap the valves in, to seat the valves into the seat of the head. What I'll do, as you can see the compound, just put a little swipe all the way around, a couple spots, just like that. Push it into the guide, spin it around a little bit. Now this is a part I'll do differently than most guys. Being lazy, I'm going to do it the lazy man's way. You would normally use, there's a lapping tool that's got a suction cup that attaches to the face of the valve, and that can kind of work okay as long as your valves are nice and clean, or there isn't any irregular shape like these have when you have this bumper on it. That's what that is. It's a little bumper that Ford used to keep the pistons from, when you'd over rev the engine, it would basically bump, there'd be a bump on the piston that would contact this little bump here on the valve and push it back up into position instead of bending the valves. Old school, but it worked. Again, back to the lapping. Sometimes the suction cup works, sometimes it doesn't. I hate them. So I'm going to do it the lazy man's way with a drill. Stupid simple, slide it on the end, tighten it up, put a little pressure on the face, slowly spin it, check it, slowly spin it. Looks pretty good. And I'll probably do it one more time. And you can also put a little pressure through the drill while pulling that way on the drill while you're pushing with your finger on the face of the valve. And that'll do it. Take my little squeeze bottle of lacquer thinner, Going to wash the valve down. I'm going to take a look and see what it looks like. You can see the wide band on there. That's the contact with the seat. You can see the shiny area. That's been cleaned down with lapping compound. That's where the valve will contact the seat and seal up nice and tight. You can always a good sound that tells you're pretty sure you have good contact. We're going to do the intake valve. It's going to be a little different. It's not going to have as wide of a seat or as wide of a polish in here as you would with this exhaust valve. Some guys say that having that wider seat on the exhaust valve helps dissipate the heat into the cylinder head on the exhaust side. Makes sense. I don't know. I'm not a machinist. I'm just a dude who's can mess up stuff pretty good and patch it up and get it back running again. So I don't know. Could be true, could be not. I'm going to do the same thing with this valve. Just use a little bit more compound, basically spaced out, equally distant around the valve. Kind of give you an idea. Insert the valve back in the guide. Spin it around a little bit by hand. Attach the drill. You can see a nice even contact all the way around. It's much thinner of a surface than the exhaust valve. Again, going back to that possibly not needing it to dissipate heat as much as the exhaust valve. You can see I got a nice even band all the way around the face of the valve. I think we're going to call that good. After you have all the valve lapping done and all that, you make sure you clean the head really well, check your surfaces, make sure you have a flat deck. That's one thing you don't want to take a chance on. At that point, if you feel as though or find that your deck isn't flat, you're probably going to want to take it to a machine shop to have that surface machined. Once everything is checked out and it's all good, clean all the parts, clean the ports up best you can. I kind of use a cross buff. It's kind of like a real aggressive Scotch-Brite pad in the form of a ball. And then I'll use lacquer thinner to kind of break up the carbon and a brass brush. And sometimes if I need to, a little wire brush, only by hand, not by a drill or a machine. And I'll break all the carbon and the soot and everything loose from the chambers and the ports and clean things up pretty nicely. I did all that before I decided to do the valve lapping. Now this valve lapping might not be for you, and it's not for everybody. It's definitely something you'll do on the cheap when you're building something at home. And either you don't want to spend a lot of money on it or you don't have the money to spend on it. If you have a good cylinder head, that's in good condition, no cracks, no issues, it's a perfect candidate for that. Like I said earlier, the gentleman I bought these from, he said he had a running condition, the engine just didn't run that well. And I did find that the valve on one of the cylinders wasn't sealing properly, so that was probably the issue. Fortunately for me, he had these cylinder heads all redone before he put them on the engine, and I got them. They had new valve guides put in, new exhaust valves installed. These are the original intake valves, and they are in good shape. So all I need to do is tear everything apart, clean it down, do the lapping, and then reassembly. The valve grinding compound, this cost about $8. And it's, what is it, about a 3-ounce tube. That's enough to do probably 100 cylinder heads. I'll never use this in my lifetime. Valve seals, simple comp cam valve seals. I do have the aftermarket guides in here, and they require these type of valve seals. These were $32. If you have stock guides still in your heads and they're in good shape, you have a nice clearance in there, nice fit for the valve stem in them, you can get away with a lot cheaper of a valve seal by using an OEM style one. These were about $32. So for the cost of these two things, about 40 bucks, I'm redoing my cylinder heads. That doesn't include labor, of course, but my labor's free. After you're finished with the valve lapping, just clean all the parts, wash the cylinder heads out really well, and install your new valve seals and reassemble the same way you took it apart. So wrapping up, like I said, this is not for everybody. If your cylinder heads are in generally good shape and you want to save some bucks, you can redo them at home for about 40 bucks. If you find any mechanical issues, bad valves, some kind of issues at all, guides are worn, springs are bad, you want to check the locks to the retainers, make sure you get a good register and a good fit there. When you disassemble them, you know you have to knock through with a socket. I always set a socket on top of the retainer that fits over the valve stem and the keeper, and just give them a sharp wrap on each one. That kind of dislodges the fit of the keeper into the retainer, allowing you to take them apart. If it comes apart too easy, then you know you probably have worn retainers, worn locks. Maybe you should just replace those. Those are, again, cheap enough. Generally speaking, it's a good low buck way to just overhaul a set of heads and get your vehicle back out on the road. Once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I know I'll be getting comments from some of you guys out there watching telling me what a hack I am. That's fine, I don't care. This is not a performance rebuild. This is a basic overhaul of cylinder heads. Light me up in the comments. I don't care. Go for it. Thanks for watching.